Hey guys, so she's not giving up. Of course, we're talking about New Jeans creator Min Hee-jin, the former CEO of ADOR, who's trying to get back into her CEO seat, even after disparaging HYBE and wanting to commit so many acts of betrayal, or actually having committed so many acts of betrayal against the parent company. And the chairman who fed her, Bang Si-hyuk, even loaned her the money to buy the shares in her own sub-label. She is desperate to stay in the HYBE family. But is it out of concern for her assumed role as the mother of New Jeans? Or really, she's just trying to cash out? So I didn't even think there would be a lot that would happen after the New Jeans members themselves went on a YouTube live for their disastrous pseudo press conference. We've gotten more information about that. We've gotten more information that really has the theme of manipulation, deception, and most importantly though, persistence. For people in this type of scenario, if you haven't been through this scenario, you may want to take this as a teaching opportunity. And people who have been in this type of situation, you're just like, my goodness, yes, definitely have been there. Even after proving your case over and over again, re-strategizing with a constantly shifting and deceptive opponent, and even feeling like you finally got people around you to recognize the truth and not see you as the perpetrator, but to really see the perpetrator, the predator, in their true colors, you still can't keep your eye off the ball, because if there is anything that is the same no matter what among these people across different cultures, backgrounds, ages, nations, is that they are persistent. They will continue to try until they cannot try anymore. And this is what we're seeing from Min Hee-jin, that she is trying her darndest. So, the disastrous press conference from the New Jeans members happened on September 11th. And they were yapping, as we've covered in the last video, like they were the new jihadists, basically perpetrating some sort of narrative that was terrorizing more than just the HYBE executives, the newly installed ADOR executives, but the other artists. And what we found out is that this makeup room story that they're trying to make as like the big event, apparently that happened earlier this summer when the CEO was their mama. So why didn't they go talk to their mama? And why didn't their mama, Min Hee-jin, get an appropriate response? Why did they try to make it look as if it was the fault of the new CEO who barely came in? Why did they make it seem like it was an inadequate response by the new CEO when they could have had it addressed, and quite forcefully, with their mama when Mama Min Hee-jin was the CEO? That, again, deceptive in a low-key way, which I think makes it stink even more. The other thing you guys want to know about the whole Jungkook situation. Yes, Jungkook of BTS posted on his dog's Instagram account. So if you guys aren't totally into the whole K-pop thing, yeah, that is, if you're wondering, what? Yeah, so you kind of, when you can't really be that bold directly, then you might use your dog's account. Just, you know. Okay, so he posted two. One of them, the first one, said, artists are not guilty. And it had 5 hearts with different colors that look like the hearts that the New Jeans girls usually use to represent them. And it looked like he was referring to New Jeans, and people were interpreting this in a negative way, or the New Jeans fans took it upon themselves to spread out a message worldwide that Jungkook was dissing HYBE and Big Hit and ADOR and favoring New Jeans and Min Hee-jin. So the Bunnies, the New Jeans fans, were essentially trying to say that Jungkook was supporting Min Hee-jin, which was the opposite of what he was trying to say. In his second post, several hours later, Jungkook said, "Don't use them." So obviously, this was a dig at Min Hee-jin for sacrificing and using the New Jeans girls for her own advantage in this fight. Although doesn't look like she has really a strong leg to stand on, but it's a persistent leg. And Big Hit confirmed that Jungkook did make these posts, and they said he thought that under no circumstances should young artists be dragged into conflicts or used as a shield. Do not use the New Jeans girls as a shield, Min Hee-jin. But he didn't say Min Hee-jin. Big Hit did not say Min Hee-jin. Nobody mentioned Min Hee-jin, but that's essentially the message. So that is the concerning part, because we were taking the response that we got after the press conference and trying to piece it together. The response of Min Hee-jin, I should say, after the Disastrous YouTube live press conference by the New Jeans members. How does this play into her overall strategy? And I think Jungkook's post really did confirm in people's minds that Min Hee-jin is willing to throw her own girls under the bus, and most likely has already. So there was an article and some press reports, particularly KBS, and we already know that KBS is a super friendly news outlet. I don't know what kind of line she has up there. In Korea, they usually call it a line. 그 라인이 어딘지. Basically, her connections, her networks that allow her to get favorable media treatment by one of the mainstream press. It's not very surprising for her to have those kind of avenues, because it looks like she's paying for it or she's under some sort of agreement. She's definitely hired a very top-notch marketing agency that's not being they're not hiding the fact that they're working on behalf of her. We recently got an update, a press announcement where they say, we are this marketing agency working on behalf of Min Hee-jin and her law firm. So we already know that her law firm introduced her to this marketing agency. So it's sort of like a package deal. So this marketing firm most likely is the one that has the good relations to KBS, but she might also have good relationships with KBS. But nonetheless, there was a really big kind of splash that I think she tried to make to distance herself from the press conference, to say that I did not want the girls to do this. And I think what she was trying to do with that media play was to tell people and to tamp down on any accusations that she prompted the New Jeans girls to do this press conference. Remember, there was tons of people saying like, this looks so scripted. It looks like Min Hee-jin had her hands behind all of this, and it looks like she was feeding everybody the lines of what to say. And I think the article was supposed to quash that kind of argument, saying like, I advised against them doing the press conference. Well, those stories apparently mysteriously got taken down, and usually that doesn't happen. They're deleting the stories, and the reason being that people are thinking is that, wow, her lie, like if you don't believe that she was not behind it all, that lie that she was trying to get out there in the press actually caused her to have a bigger problem, because the bigger problem is that she's admitting that she knew that the girls were about to launch this bomb on the world, like the new jihadists, and she didn't report it. She didn't take action on it, which basically means she hurt ADOR. So finally, we have an action that could be very specifically tied to her creating damages against her own company. And perhaps that's further reason for, contract violations or whatnot. But then she also said that the big reason why she didn't want to support the New Jeans girls doing this press conference is that it could jeopardize the contracts of the New Jeans girls. So if that was the case, then she basically just sacrificed the New Jeans girls' well-being and their contracts to really hone in or solidify a point that I didn't want them to do that. I had nothing to do with this press conference. I advised against it. I did not want them to do it because it would potentially void their contracts. And then she's saying then the articles go down because it looks like she didn't take her responsibility to protect ADOR. So if she knew, then she should have really been able to stop it, especially if she's their mom and, the buck stops with her only. You don't want to drink the Kool-Aid that she's making, girls, so keep yourself safe. Oh, and did you know that that's like a dog whistle that the Bunnies say a lot to threaten you, saying keep yourself safe, KYS, keep yourself safe. Basically, that's a dog whistle to attack and to threaten and to try to cause harm on somebody. But honey, bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest, you can be tracked down, so keep yourself safe. Okay, so why is Min Hee-jin so desperate to stay in ADOR and HYBE? Of course, it's because of money. Because she does not want her shareholder agreement canceled, because her shareholder agreement is essentially the linchpin. It is the contract for her to cash out for about $100 million, if not more or less. And that is all outlined and guaranteed in the shareholder agreement, which HYBE said earlier in the summer, that, no, it's void. We found a way out of it. And as we mentioned in the previous videos, it's essentially because they were able to find a way to remove her from the CEO position. And if she's not in the CEO position, then there's no stock options. But I thought, people are like, I thought that HYBE was forced to keep her in the CEO position because of the injunction that she won in May. And yes, that is true in the sense that through a shareholder meeting, they were not able to fire her as CEO because her shareholder agreement says that HYBE has to back me no matter what in a shareholder meeting. But HYBE cleverly found a loophole where the board of directors of ADOR are able to remove her as a board member and as CEO. The board can decide because the board of directors is basically given the power by the shareholders to act. And if there are things that are not going well to protect the company, then they are there to have even more power than the CEO. They hire the CEO. They have more power than the CEO to stop or to approve, or they are the ones where the buck stops really with the board of directors. So HYBE said that they already went through the process. They already checked with her lawyers, and they even filed a lawsuit that's pending in the court that just needs to confirm their decision. Well, Min Hee-jin is not going down without a fight. She is trying and trying and trying. So what she did is that she filed for another injunction. I guess she just thinks that the injunction is just her cup of tea, that it's going to work. And so she wants an injunction, and she wants to have a meeting of the shareholders to reappoint her as a member of the board of the directors and also to be the CEO. So this is the thing. I don't think that it's going to work out because they've already checked with all the lawyers, but I think what she wants to do is force an uncomfortable physical situation where she has a shareholder meeting. This is how I think it could work in her favor. She has a shareholder meeting, and whatever is recorded in the minutes of the meeting, she can manipulate to her advantage. She even might be able to force them into a corner where at a shareholder meeting, HYBE is supposed to support her according to whatever contract that they had. But HYBE said that contract's already null and void. It's gone. It's done. And so I don't think that they're actually going to be able to have a shareholder meeting in time. It all depends on how fast and how many connections that this law firm has, because usually the law firm would probably not, or a person would not be able to get in front of a judge so quickly, but she might be able to with her fancy lawyers. But in any event, her board of directors seat. So to be a CEO, you have to have a seat on the board of directors first. HYBE said, you ain't on the board anymore. Or they kind of just said like, you're not on the board anymore, but we know that your board membership expires in November. So you want to contest it, trying to contest it in court. You have only a few weeks left anyway. And so they're definitely not going to renew her board seat, but she's trying to get through in a way where she feels like she has an advantage at a shareholders meeting versus a board of directors meeting. And so I think she can, if she does get an injunction where the board has to meet, then perhaps she can create a situation where she forces something where, or at least brings up the topic, hey guys, aren't you supposed to be, hey guys as in HYBE, 80% of the board, aren't you supposed to support me as detailed into my contract, and be able to spin whatever comes out of that meeting, just spin it to her advantage. However, we already do know that Min Hee-jin herself has delayed and pushed off the meetings of a shareholder meeting when HYBE wanted to meet. So why don't HYBE just do the same thing? Even if there's an emergency injunction that comes in from the court, HYBE could be too busy too. It could be like, I'm sorry, my hair, that fourth floor hair and makeup studio is causing a lot of drama. We got to take care of that. And I got to go dry my hair because the hair dryers are all out. And so they can just basically say like, hey, yeah, we'll meet in December. Then by then it's too late, because then she's off the board. And most likely by then, there'll also be a court ruling in HYBE's favor that just reaffirms what they just did, with the main caveat being the shareholder agreement is canceled. Her CEO position is canceled, and definitely her board seat is canceled. And so Min Hee-jin did make a big old announcement about all of this through her marketing agency, and HYBE responded with the most intellectually delicious shade. They said, the shareholder agreement between HYBE and former CEO Min Hee-jin has already been terminated. Once the agreement is terminated, its legal effect is void. So you can't get it back. They tore it up. You can't get it back. A lawsuit has been filed to confirm the termination of the shareholder agreement, and we are awaiting the court's decision. So they did the action. They checked with their lawyers. It's all legal, but they just even want now the stamp of approval. Like, they went themselves to court and said, like, look, almost as if they're kind of suing themselves, like, hey, we want to make sure that this is correct. Then HYBE also said the decision to dismiss Min Hee-jin as CEO was made independently by ADOR's board of directors as part of a business management decision. It is unrelated to HYBE or the shareholder agreement. Ooh, now this is getting a little bit saucy because now they're making a bit of a Charlotte's Web for her to jump between, because now Min Hee-jin, it doesn't know sort of where her target is. Is it the board of directors or is it HYBE? And so this is very interesting how HYBE kind of split this unified action against her, but kind of split where she can kind of target. So dismissing her as CEO was made by the ADOR board of directors, but the shareholder agreement that was canceled was with HYBE. So HYBE is saying, like, okay, your shareholder agreement is null and void, but we had nothing to do with the decision to fire you. That was done by the ADOR board of directors. Now, the reason why that's also tricky, and obviously we know this is HYBE, hey, all gloves are off. We're playing chess because you shot us in the back. We're going to play chess with you, because the board of directors of ADOR is essentially HYBE as well. So HYBE said, like, okay, the board of directors fired you and we have nothing to do with it. But then when you open the door to the board of directors meeting of ADOR, who's sitting there, it's like the HYBE people. So it is HYBE that did fire her, but officially and legally, it's the ADOR board of directors, because she did the same thing. Officially and legally, she only betrayed HYBE. Therefore, she's allowed to maintain her CEO seat. Back in May, when she won the injunction. And then so people are just like, dang, what kind of legal loophole did Min Hee-jin just pull like that? So I'm just pretty much doing the same thing, but better. And then HYBE had to put in the dig. And they said, we regret that Min Hee-jin, who has long emphasized the importance of ADOR's independent management as a separate entity, is not respecting ADOR's board of directors' decision. So essentially, Min Hee-jin had always justified her actions by saying, like, the board, my board, when she controlled her board. My board is deciding all of this, and that's why it has to be. We're independent. And then now HYBE is saying, well, now that HYBE controls ADOR's board, it's like, well, Min Hee-jin, you've always said we got to respect the board's decision and that we shouldn't have HYBE interfere so much with ADOR. And if ADOR wants to do this and fire you, then we're respecting ADOR's independent management. That is samurai level chess. So that basically means that she really doesn't have much to stand on. It doesn't look like she's going to be able to pull through. And why though? Beyond the pathological reasons why people like this are persistent to the end, I think she's actually in an extremely high anxiety situation, a bit of desperation, and not because of her concern over the future of the New Jeans girls' careers. Get it through your mind, Bunnies, and and the Five Hearts. She don't care about you, but she cares about her own self. Because I think what happened is that she has roped in a bunch of people to help her with the promise of a future payout. Obviously, she couldn't even come up with $2 million to buy in to get her 18% of ADOR. Yeah, so she would buy in for $2 million, which she borrowed from Pang Si-hyuk, and then she would sell the same amount of shares later on, or a majority of it, for about $100 million. Yeah. So she does have a very, like, while things were going her way, she had a very reputable calling card to play, you know, in her secret little meetings of machinations. I have these stock options that are gonna cash out, and we're gonna make it cash out even more if you come in and be part of my malicious web. And I'm sure she roped in a lot of people like that, because obviously we have documented at least one person she roped in, and she kind of promised about $2 to $3 million to one of her main deputies who betrayed HYBE, because they're actually a HYBE employee first. And so we can see that she might have a lot of liability right now, which basically means like the mob like might be after her. Like, we did all of this stuff for you. Where's our payout? When is our payout coming? Because it looks like you're out. Like, you are not going to be able to fulfill any of your obligations. So that's why I think she is throwing as many last punches, last gasps as she can, because as much as she might be somebody that we don't see in a very positive light, and yes, you should be very concerned and scared if you ever run into her or people like her, but the people that she has roped in might even be worse. Not all of them, because they usually also get people that they can easily control, but they got to get some people who probably are even bigger fish than them, and she might be on the hook and be in a very like stress-induced state, because she can't fulfill her promises if she doesn't have her stock option payout. That ain't ever gonna come. So I think she should, instead of trying to fighting for an injunction, well, she needs to find a slow boat to somewhere and stay on it till the heat comes off. She needs to go where her shaman is. We still don't even know where her shaman is. She went poof. So are Korean people supporting her? I don't think so. You know, like a lot of people saying like, oh, what about all these like comments? No, you notice how the comments really aren't in the international or English language comment section, because she hires the Korean marketing company, and it's much easier for her to just comment away. So it may look like the K-Netizens are a lot more active and in her corner, but she just basically is hiring domestic help. And we already saw from that botched Dior bot campaign where, remember, it was either Haein or Hidden. One of them was the Dior model. And then their own bots, to try to fake supporting, mixed up the New Jeans members in English. That's so shoddy. And so after that, they're probably just like, okay, let's just stick to domestic. so that's probably why. And it probably looks like there's more support in Korea than there really is, because the online bots are paid, or easily, you can proofread and spell check a little bit better in Korean if you've hired a Korean firm to do all of this stuff for you. All right, guys, what do you think? Did you see all of these desperate attempts by Min Hee-jin to try to stay in the HYBE family even after she tried to backstab all of them? That's a very strange family gathering. All right, guys, Well, put your comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.